Yeah, because for me at least, I mean, obviously the Green Bay-Dallas game will be center stage on Sunday night, but Ryder Cup and college football has taken with us having a bit of a week off with the Longhorns not playing, no tailgate, no watch party. You don't have to do the on Texas football watch along. I'm going to be watching a lot of college football and looking forward to it. But NFL through 3 weeks. We have, 6 undefeated teams at 3-0. We have 5 teams that are 0-3, including the Texans. And you have the Cowboys who are 1-2, and I think every Cowboy fan would admit they're lucky to be 1-2. They're lucky to get that win over the Giants. Kind of misfortune to lose the Eagles game, but they are where they are. But they have, I think, both Houston and I think it's a decent opportunity. We come in on Monday. Both the Cowboys and Texans are 1-3 because Houston plays a winless Tennessee team who just their head coach gave up play calling duties and handing it to a first-time play caller with the rookie quarterback at home. Houston, all things line up that they could get a first win on Sunday. If they don't, look out. Sky will be falling in Houston. But the Cowboys play the Green Bay Packers. 31 days after trading him in conference to a rival, Micah Parsons will return to Arlington for his new team for a Sunday night football matchup with Carrie Underwood, Jerry Jones, and the Dallas Cowboys. And can I play you something? Cowboys owner Jerry Jones was on his weekly radio hit on 105.3 The Fan, where he talks every Tuesday about the state of the Cowboys. And I thought this was a really good question. I'm not sure which host this is there, but asked him a real good question that's fair. And you'll hear Jerry Jones answer about the Micah Parsons trade.
This question I've waited for today because it has to do with a famous Jerry Jones line and statement and saying that, of course, is attributed to you. Don't let your money get mad. Jerry, do you think with the Micah deal that you let your money get mad and it just became a little bit too personal versus a football decision?
Absolutely not. Not at all. There was nothing personal. I told you I like Micah, and there was no issue regarding as much as people wanted to make that of it. There was no issue regarding feelings relative to the negotiation. Certainly not on my part. It was just par for the course. And the facts are the negotiation was ongoing. Now, people made a lot of that we weren't talking. I had on the table the best I could do, period. Mm-hmm. And really, I wanted to see, by chumming it up out there, that we could see what Micah might be worth in trade value. And that was the plan all the way through, quote, the negotiation. And so there's no, as a matter of fact, cool as a cucumber as far as feelings or as far as flaring.
All right, so my money didn't get mad. It wasn't personal, which I don't believe. I don't think anybody believes that. He says it was a business deal. Fair enough. And, again, I believe they should have traded him back in March, which is when I think they could have got max value to help this year's team and the long haul, but time will tell on that. But Dallas Cowboys will host Micah Parsons' company. Jerry Jones did say that there's a little extra incentive. He said, this quote in that same interview, he says, this is an important game. This is an important game. We can't lose to Micah and the Packers. But the Packers are a better team right now. And remember when Jerry made the trade, they get 2 first-round picks in coming years, so they'll have 4 first-round picks over the next 2 drafts, right? Their own and the Packers. And we know the Packers is going to be 25 or lower. The Cowboys, though, because they're so bad defensively, has a chance to be a pretty high pick. They have a chance. If I'm a Cowboys fan, what I'm rooting for is that to become a top 5 pick.
Therefore, you're rooting for losses.
Well, that's a bad place to be as an organization, but sometimes you need to. Sometimes when your defense is this bad.
It's that bad.
Because as Jerry said, we wanted Kenny Clark. We need Clint. Well, okay, guess what you did against the Bears? You stopped the run. They didn't run the ball much because they didn't have to.
They had wide open receivers.
For the first time in his young career, Caleb Williams wasn't sacked in a football game. He'd played 20 games before it. He had never not had a sack, at least one. But usually there's multiple sacks of Caleb Williams in games. The Cowboys had 0. And they gave up 250 passing yards to Caleb Williams by halftime. So, yeah, sure, we stop the run. But if a team doesn't feel like they need to run at all, why run it? When you can throw it.
Let's get this confidence boost for Caleb Williams.
Ask Russell Wilson how that goes.
Gosh, you just got benched.
For the 4th time in the last 5 years or so.
Shocking.
So, yeah, again, it's tough to root for losses, but if you're a Cowboys fan, you want that pick of your own to be really high. Now, unfortunately, this is why I don't think you trade superstar players like I think Micah Parsons is, that if you get that to a top 5 pick, it's probably going to be a pass rusher. that you're drafting that you hope is as good as Micah Parsons was at rushing the passer. Because if you're in the top, you're not taking a quarterback in the top 5 in April because you have Dak Prescott as the highest paid player. He's playing at a high level. Your offense, you've invested in the offensive line now when it gets healthy. You got CeeDee Lamb. The money you save on Micah Parsons might allow you to re-sign George Pickens, big picture. But at the same time, you have to replace the pass rush. You have to replace the pass rush. So whoever that top 5 pick is, it's probably going to be someone to replace 11.
Yeah.
Or now wearing number 1.
Right.
In Green Bay. So there we go. That's where the Cowboys are. I don't think I would pick them to win this game until they can show they can stop anybody. And Jordan Love's coming off a bad game. Jordan Love did not play good in Cleveland on Sunday.
They were embarrassed in that game. To lose to Cleveland's a big deal considering,
especially they were as ugly as it was. They were and Cleveland can muck it up, especially in Cleveland.
Their defense is
and Myles
solid.
Garrett
the
is
dog
still
pound.
Myles Garrett is the high. He's still the
Myles
best.
Garrett's the best defensive player in the league.
He is.
Plain and simple.
He's
it's just it.
With Aaron Donald's retirement, he is the ultimate game wrecker.
Right.
And he wrecked that game.
Did you hear that audio of? They kept playing it over and over. The offensive lineman on the Packers telling Jordan, run. He did this high pitch.
Well, and Jordan Love didn't play good, and they did a good job against him. So obviously he's going to come in looking to make amends and get this thing right, and they'll come after the Cowboys, and their defense much better than Dallas's obviously right now.
They're not coming in sleepy. That woke them up.
No, and we saw them the first 2 weeks against Washington and Detroit look like the best team in football. So we know that's their capability. I don't think we know what the Cowboys can be. But they are going to come to play knowing Micah Parsons is on the other side. Let me get to the Texans here because we're going to run out of time before we get to Chris Phillips. But bit of a surprising piece of news yesterday, but if you were paying attention behind the scenes, maybe not as surprising, but the Texans did release safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Gardner-Johnson was one of Texans GM Nick Caserio's most notable offseason additions. Traded the 2022 first-round pick Kenyon Green, the former Texas A&M lineman who never panned out. And part of Nick Caserio's biggest fail so far as a general manager is he's missed on a lot of high draft picks on the offensive line, and it's why their offensive line stinks. And Kenyon Green is most notable because he was the 15th pick in the draft. That was one of those picks they got back for Deshaun Watson that they missed on. They've hit on some of them, but they've missed on the offensive linemen. But they traded Kenyon Green to Philadelphia. They bring in C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who had just had a 6-interception year with the Super Bowl winning Eagles. So I'm sure DeMeco Ryans is thinking, okay, we get a veteran guy, ball hawk back there to go with our young secondary. And he has struggled to pick up the defensive scheme. Remember, he got hurt early on in camp, or it looked like he could be a season ender, so he missed a lot of camp. And then since coming back to start the year, it's just not been good. And there's a beat reporter who covers the Texans for ESPN.com, DJ Ben Amy, who wrote this yesterday, said each of the Texans' 3 losses have been by a touchdown or less. At minimum, according to the team sources, Gardner-Johnson has allowed 3 big plays in each one of those games, contributing to the touchdowns. Gardner-Johnson has struggled to consistently guard the correct opposing player when it's required in match coverage, which is what DeMeco Ryans' defense is all about. If you remember, there was in the matchup against the Rams in Week 1, it was a 13-yard touchdown to the tight end Davis Allen, which he was in the wrong place, and it was wide open. Then this past week, there was a game-clinching play when they lost to the Jaguars where Brian Thomas got loose, and he was supposed to cover him, and he left Kamari Lassiter on an island over there. And then there was the first touchdown against Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers on Monday night of last week was a blown coverage by C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So if you're playing these slim margin games, which Houston is until they figure out what they're doing offensively, you can't have one defensive back giving up a touchdown each game. And, you got Kamari Lassiter and Derek Stingley pointing at him like, where are you at, man? That was your guy, and I'm having to chase him down. Like, what are we doing? And that happened in each one of their 3 games. And according to those behind the scenes, DeMeco Ryans and company, he wasn't taking accountability for it. He was pointing fingers at other people, and that's not going to fly. And whatever we think of DeMeco Ryans, he is a good defensive coach. He's a player's coach. He's not getting it done with the offense. But C.J. Gardner-Johnson out. So another offseason addition that, whether it be offensive linemen they brought in, the 2 receivers they drafted are barely playing right now. So it's a struggle in Houston, but Gardner-Johnson is out.
Yeah, he was on the Lions a few seasons ago. He played with the Saints, and so he was with that staff when Aaron Glenn was there. Obviously, Dan Campbell. That's where he made his.
He may land back in Philadelphia.
He could land back in Philadelphia because I think his personality could fit there better. He is a strong personality. I mean, and that's the thing.
But he's a good front runner. He's not a good loser.
But exactly, that's the thing. And I think you don't want to mess something great that you had like last year. I mean, how great the Texans defense is. There's no need to kind of mess it up.
Well, if you think about it, their defense has been pretty great this year.
It has.
And if he blew 3 touchdown assignments,
exactly,
it would look even better.
Right.
And they might have won 1 or 2 of those games, and that's what DeMeco Ryan's saying. Plus, if you're not going to own it,
That's the thing.
Then I can't
right
have
there.
you. I can't have you.
There's just been like some personality things.
Here's
about him
D'Amico
for
Ryans yesterday
years
when
to
asked
come.
about the communication issues in the back end.
Somewhere along the lines, there was a bust in communication. It all starts with communication, and it hasn't been as crisp as it needs to be. So we have to play better. On the defensive side, we got to communicate better, and we got to execute the defense better. And so, it's not been great. We see that. We have to make some adjustments there to make sure we get it corrected.
And the Cowboys would love to have a defense that gives up one explosive play per game that leads to a touchdown because they give up multiple. Meanwhile, we know Houston can't score. And if your offense is struggling like Houston's is, you almost have to shut people out, which D'Amico Ryans would like to be able to do. And if you can't win this week with Tennessee, Cam Ward's coming in. He's struggling as a rookie, and it's not a talented team at all. Brian Callahan, their head coach, just gave up play calling duties and handed it to a rookie play caller. So D'Amico Ryans, with his defense, playing at home, should be able to feast on young Cam Ward. Now, can the offense come along and he's got to win this game? They got to get to 1-3. The Cowboys would love to get to 2-2 coming out of September if they could beat the Packers on Sunday night. I don't know if they can do that.
Yeah, I don't think they can do that.
And you're going to the game.
You're going to be at the game.
Are you actually sitting with the cheerleader head coach?
I think so.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't know if she'll be sitting there or she'll be on the field coaching. I don't know. We got the tickets from her.
Do you coach like the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders like during the game? Is she down there coaching them, or is she just kind of like watching?
I am clueless. I don't know.
We'll learn a lot about that coming up on Sunday night.
Got the tickets and I said thanks.
I didn't know, but so Noah got some tickets from your girlfriend. Knows the
girlfriend's
coaches,
friends.
a friend of a friend.
Right.
31 flavors. You know what I mean? It's who you know.
You know how that is.
So you'll be at that game. So come back with some details about the Cowboys cheerleaders.
I will.
We'll see if the Cowboys can slow down Jordan Love and company. Texans with the Tennessee Titans. But for me, this weekend is going to be about Ryder Cup and college football.
Yeah, great slate.
And I'm going to need as Sark said yesterday, I can't do the quad box. I'll be having the quad box because I'm going to need golf, football,
you got
all
all
day
sports
Saturday, man. Can the Astros find their way into the playoffs or your Tigers stop collapsing? I don't know. We got a good sports week coming, and we'll get back to it.